Alright, hello everyone, this is Mr. 25, and for this video I will be doing a quick breakdown and review on the winter 2022 season. I'll just give a quick overview of what I think of each anime that I watched, and some feedback about it. So, like last time, the ranks are from S to E, S being perfect anime, E being complete turd, and everything else falls somewhere in between. There might not be any turd animes, and there might not be any perfect animes, just how it is sometimes. So with that said, let's get started. Alright, second season of Realist Hero. It's a pretty okay anime, I think. I think the novels are a lot more fun to read, but with a lot of these world building, like development, kind of isekai stories, it's not very action driven, which means it's really hard to have a very solid presentation of the source material in anime form. So I do find it a bit dry at times, but the source material is good and it's all around decent. But there's nothing too flashy about it, so it's a solid B tier anime. Osama ranking. Last time I think I put this on S, but I think the second half of the show is a lot weaker. I think they try to explore too many things. The story was they try to develop the story in too many directions, and they just couldn't seem to pick and decide what they actually wanted to do. My biggest issue with the second half is that, like it's the Marvel issue. Not every antagonist has to have like a dark secret hidden past or whatever. Some people can just be bad guys. Like they don't have to be redeemable, like, because I don't know. I just don't like it when all the bad guys are, they just have some like tragic past, and then you can just yoink them back into the good guy territory. I think that's just really dumb. Like, my friends all had issues with this show because they're just like forgiving everybody, everyone's good and shit. Which is, I think, it's a fair criticism. Although I just think, it's like Game of Thrones, where the stories develop and diverge to such an extent that it's just hard to wrap up. Still, overall, not too bad, but I definitely think the first half was a lot better. Second season of Vanitas no Cart. I mean, if you like the show, you're gonna still like it. My personal thoughts on it are, it's getting a bit too whack. The atmosphere is still there, and I think that's what a lot of people watch it for, and I guess the yaoi undertone or whatnot. But I think it's just weird. The story's weird. The characters are all weird. I don't know where like everything's going. It's fun to watch, but like if I have to like think about the plot, then it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So Orient, pretty bad show. Like, the story seems like it's out of like a 2000, like mid 2000s, like kids show for like kids under 10. I don't know what the author is thinking, but the anime is just really stupid. All the characters are like classic retard shonen protags, and the animation doesn't do it any favors. Maybe it'll get better later, but I honestly doubt it. It's like one. For me, it's like a thin line dividing this show between and like absolute turd. But because the plot is coherent, can't really just put it into like dog shit territory. Tokyo 24 Blue. I think I'm probably the only one that watched this anime this season. Um, it definitely had like an interesting concept. It explores some pretty cool topics. Uh, I'll just give some spoilers. 'Cause I don't think anyone give a shit about the show. Like they're talking about how like they're converting like a human brain to like a kind of a system, which now that I think about it, sounds a lot like Psychopath. So maybe it's not that original after all. But anyway, like it's not that great. Probably put it in D tier. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but it doesn't do anything well at all. So it's that. Beast Coast is actually a pretty fun show. I think I'll probably put it in A or B tier. Uh, Kind of similar to Vanitas, where like the setting is just really whack, but it's like a kind of a fun kind of whack. It's got some pretty good action. I like the way they develop the story. There's some ass pulls here and there, like Mance getting like the golden arm of God or whatever. But you know, like I don't think this show is meant to be taken all that seriously. There's like they're riding like fucking crabs and shit. So you know, it's like a fun show. Overall, I'll probably put it in. It's hard. I had a lot of fun with this show, but I don't think it's something that I could just recommend to people because it's just so weird. I'll just leave it in B for now. The Lord El Mero spin-off. Pretty fun side story. Waver turns back into his into the Fate Zero self, and then they try to fix him or shit. It's a pretty self-contained story. As per usual, you know, some shit I don't get, but you know, it doesn't affect how I enjoy this thing in general, so I'll leave it here. Takagi-san, this is probably my favorite season of Takagi-san. I actually cannot believe that we actually got somewhere with this show, to be honest. I thought it was just gonna be like, you know, back and forth, same shit over and over, but because, you know, there's a lot of cutesy shit happening, it melts me on the inside. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy. And he actually kind of confessed at the end. I'll give it an A. The War of Roses. It's supposed to be pretty good, the source story. But I just think it's... I don't know if it's not well adapted or what, but... I don't feel like... I feel like all the characters are so weird. I think the premise itself is weird. Like the main character is like girl pretending to be a guy, and oh my goodness, the moment I saw the main character like kiss his dad's like decapitated head, I know this shit's like it's fucked, man. Don't waste your time. It's so stupid. All right. Shuma's no Harem. Obviously, this is the best anime of the season. Okay, actually though, it's really bad. Oh my goodness, holy shit! There's too much plot for a plot anime, and there's not enough plot for a plot anime. You know, like if you're gonna have fan service, have fan service. But you know, if you're gonna have plot, have plot. Like, you know, Redo of Healer is really good at that. You know, they have some fan service. I don't know if you can call it that, but you know, they still have some semblance of a story. For this, like, it's like all really shitty fan service. Like the fan service is not good, and then they try to shove a story down my throat, and you know, obviously no one's gonna give a shit a story because it's supposed to be a fan service show, and the fan service is not even good. So, like, what are we here for? Platinum End. They all said the ending is shit, and the ending is pretty shit. But honestly, I don't think it's like as bad as people are making it out to be. Definitely not good, but you know, it's not terrible. Um, Death Note is definitely better, but everyone know that. Uh, yeah, the ending like fucked me. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was still disappointed. So I guess in the end, we all turned to nothing. Kuroshiai. Uh, I'm just not a big fan of like crime, like IRL based crime animes in general, and this one doesn't do it particularly well. I just don't think there's anything like after like 12 episodes, I don't feel like anything happening or like anything barely changed. Like we barely understand any like background of like the main dude, and we spent like 2 episodes on the background of the girl, and I still don't really know what's going on. So overall, I'd say pretty bad. Like honestly, the main dude feels like a isekai character stuck in like real world, just fucking shit up for the fun of it. I don't know. Miss Kuroritsu's Monster Development Department. Surprisingly enjoyed this anime. Obviously the animation looks pretty suspect. You know, like when all the like the anime looks like it's a 480p anime upscaled through like waifu 2x or some shit into like 1080p. So all the lines are like thick as fuck, and everything is on like fucking 10 frames per second. But still, like it's got some pretty funny jokes. Like I usually find the corporate Japan like animes pretty funny, and this one is just so meme. Like have all the monsters and shit working, and the directors and shit like being like fucking massive weeb degenerates. It's fucking jokes. Uh, yeah, Shaman King is just outdated. Like it's probably a solid shonen back in the day, but nowadays like it's just outdated, and I honestly like I barely pay attention to this anime. I just put it on the side while like I play like ARAM or something. People are probably gonna flame me for this, but like people coming back from death, it's like so like 2000s, and I guess that's when this came from. So Prin Kong season 2. Honestly, I enjoyed it more than a lot of these other animes. I don't know if I would put it into A tier because there's a lot of episodic stuff that's meant basically for only for like the game players. But I still had a lot of fun. I think uh, I like slice of life animes, especially if it has cowgirls in it, and Carol gets redeemed at the end, and you know sometimes that's all you need. That's all I ask for. So you know, solid B tier anime. Oh, this one. So she professed herself the pupil of the wise man. Classic isekai. The girl is cute, but it's really hard for me to appreciate how cute the girl is when you know it's like a middle-aged guy instead of a girl's body. It bothers me a lot when it's done non-ironically. I thought the first volume, the light novel, was not that bad, but honestly, ugh, it's the anime's not it. Like the CG on like all the fucking monsters is terrible. Like they probably use like 5 polygons on it, so I'm guessing like they can't afford to get 3060 Ti or 3070 Ti or not because the graphics cards are too expensive. So I have to run it on like a 960 or something. So dude, like when the chicken monster pops out, holy shit, that's actually stuff of nightmares. It's just so fucking bad. Anyway. Next up, the Weakest Crest, dog shit isekai. All the girls are not cute. Main character is OP. Story gets nowhere. Dumb as fuck. Akebi-chan's Sailor Uniform. Pretty fun slice of life show. I feel like with all these slice of shows, I just can't talk about anything because they're just cute girls doing cute things. Like, oh, what am I supposed to say? Like, oh, these people do cute things better than the other show. It's an okay show. I think my biggest problem with it is the art style, but the manga art style is like pretty whack. I think some of the keyframes, like the animation and cuts, it's pretty weird. But overall, it's a pretty wholesome story. And for wholesome stories, I'm not gonna put it into low tier. That's just me. Okay. What is this? Oh, this is the Mahoka OVA. It's supposed to be like a prequel explaining why this and that. I don't really get it. Frankly speaking, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care why Onisama is OP. Sometimes it just is. And that's okay. So, I think the biggest thing that this OVA tried to explain is like the relationship between Miyuki and Onisama, but I don't get it. I watched it. I don't get it. Onisama can res, I guess. And Miyuki is a fucking brocon. Nothing's changed. I don't really get it. I don't really need it. Lee Dale. Another pretty shitty isekai, if I'm being honest. Like, it doesn't look that good. Story's not that good. I don't really wanna. I don't know. It's just all around a very mediocre, if not pretty boring show. Kind of like this one, Wise Man. Attack on Titan. I mean, the final episode haven't aired yet at the moment that I'm making this video. So, I actually haven't read the manga, so. But I know how it ends. Whatever. Like, author's gonna wrap it up. It's tired of this shit. Sometimes it's hard to wrap things up. Sometimes people are not okay with how you end things. I don't really like how Weathering with You ended. But that doesn't affect me thinking that it's a good movie. And I'm probably not gonna like how Attack on Titan ends. It's not gonna affect how I think of this show as a whole. And as a whole, the show is great. But if I'm just rating based on the last season, I still say it's not bad. I think the developments are a bit too quick. I don't know how fast they progress the story in the manga, so I don't really know how to compare to the anime, but overall it's fine. I think I definitely had more fun when it's just like a man versus Titan thing. Personally speaking, I don't really like it when the end game of every anime is like guy versus guy. Why can't it just be, guy versus monsters? Like all these fucking like alien attacking or like monster anime, you always end up with like, oh, some guy developed this, or like some guy did this, or some guy did that, so you have to beat the guy. Oh, just make it so that's monsters. I'd rather just it be monsters. Just beat the Titans, I don't need some like ulterior motive. Sometimes I just want to see like people get squashed. Overall, still pretty solid. Like the series as a whole is definitely like S tier. I'm speaking just for the last thing alone. I'll put it in A. My biggest problem is not how the story develops. Is just how like the people's like like we can't have a genocide. fuck it. Give me a genocide. I don't give a fuck. Like, why do you care about these people that you never met before? Like, these people are like fucking oppressing you or shit. Okay, I'm not gonna make any political statements right now, but you know, this is just how I feel. Let's see. Arifureta. It's the second season's better than the first season. The animation looks not dog shit, but the story is still bad. Mostly because it's like a fucking edgy dude with like a harem of really annoying girls. All the girls are kind of dumb. All the characters are really annoying. The villains or whatever. And the main character is really edgy. I know I said that, but I don't like edgy characters. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Uh, my dress up darling. It's actually so fan servicey. Like after reading the manga and then watching the anime, I'm like, I don't remember it being this fan servicey in the manga. You know how I said like it's like slice of life animes is hard to compare. This is like a fun slice of life anime. You know, there's some like the Love Hotel shit is just fucking funny, man. Like, it's jokes. The anime did a good job for sure, mostly because I don't really like the manga art style, and when I saw the anime, I thought all the characters looked like normal anime characters. I didn't think it was possible. But yeah, very fun anime. I'm not putting it in S because I watched it with my friends and they said it's too much fan servicey, too much booba. So there you go, too much booba. That's why it's an A. The fucking Fantasy OG song one. That's a pretty funny show actually. It's similar to the Monster Development Department one, where it's just like wacky fun, like wacky jokes. It's really dry humor. I'm pretty old, so I like that kind of shit. I think it's fair and funny. But I can see why a lot of people might not enjoy it as much. It's just so stupid, man. Like this shit that like it's really stupid, and knows that it's stupid. Like I can appreciate that. Whereas like Shuma's no Harem's like it's like dumb as fuck, but they still like pretend like they're serious shit. Like if you watch any part of this, especially the part where like they go into like the shrine and everyone's wearing like bikini and shit, you're just like, yeah, like like they don't give a fuck. And I appreciate that. Demon Slayer, just leave it up here. It's alright. I don't mind it. Those front line. It's not complete garbage, but it's pretty close. I actually don't know what's going on. Like having watched everything, it's like Azurlane, but with slightly better animations. So it's like not saying much. And since I don't remember what happens, I don't think I can comment on it. Genius Prince. I normally put this on B, but I'll put it on A because I really like the main girl. The light novel design is like she's like kind of thick, but I really like the anime design. Takahashi Ria did a good job on her. Story wise, it's similar to Realist Hero, but I think the anime did a lot better job in Genius Prince than Realist Hero of developing the characters, making them seem interesting. And it's more troll. That's what I like about it. All the characters are fucking trolling. So yeah, there you go. That's all the animes. And I'll see you guys next season in like 3 months. Later.